Hi, everyone, and welcome to Rising Stories Podcast. I'm Corrine Sandifer, your host. Each week, you will find me here every Thursday morning interviewing a business owner or an author, and we chat about building businesses and working like a boss and doing the hard things, and we talk about the struggles, the in and out things daily that we work with and we work on. And we get some great tips from these business owners and authors. They share with us all of their best tools and practices. So if you or someone you know is in a business for themselves or wants to write a book, this is a great podcast to listen to. But also, we talk about things that everyone can relate to, such as work-life balance and living with intention and dreaming big. So I hope that you will sit back and relax and enjoy your favorite beverage and whatever it is you're doing, if you are jogging on the treadmill, if you are on your way to work, or if you're just doing a relaxing evening or maybe doing the dishes while you're listening. Thanks so much for choosing Rising Stories Podcast to listen to today. As always, I would love for you to connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I want to bring to your attention a couple things on Facebook is that I have a new page called Corrine Sandifer, and then it's also part of Rising Stories Podcast. So head over to Facebook and look me up there. I also have a group of business owners and authors that have joined with me, and we have a group called Soul Care for the Business Owner and Author, and we have a blast there. We do a lot of encouraging and a lot of information that helps us just make it through the week. So if you want some encouragement, head over to Facebook and look up Soul Care for the Business Owner. Also on Twitter, I'm at Corrine Sandifer. It's a great way for you to connect with me, even if you're listening to the show and you want to have a question, just shoot me a private message or tweet at me and I will answer. I also am at Corrine Sandifer on Instagram. So look for me there. I love to do Instagram stories. Would love for you to watch. My guest today is Mallory Swain. She is an integrative health coach here in the Nashville area. And we talk about what an integrative health coach does. Mallory also shares her story about how she got very sick and what she did to turn her health around. And of course, we also talk about food. Food, cauliflower, almond flour, and meal planning. And Mallory has this thing that she calls what not to wear for your pantry. It's basically a great show, folks, because we all need tips on how to eat better, right? Plus, Mallory tells me about her favorite Vegan Nashville restaurant and what she recommends off the menu. So, here is my conversation with Mallory Swain. Thanks for coming on the show and talking about health and food.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm always up for talking about food.
It is a great subject.
It is. And, the other day I was like, I really need to lose some weight. I was telling my husband, I was like, and we need to stop eating out. We were eating out. Just our lives have been pretty crazy lately. So we've been like eating out, grabbing something on the way home or whatever from it's track season at our house. So and I'm like, oh, I'm tired of eating out. I'm tired of eating. I was like, but we have to eat. That's the hard part, right?
You do have to eat.
It's not like you can abstain from something like, oh, I'm going to change my habit. I'm going to not do this but at the same time, it's like, oh, we have to eat. Hello. So it's tough.
It's finding balance.
Yes. So you are an integrative health coach.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me what the integrative means.
So basically that I focus on the whole body. So it's a holistic approach to health instead of just being like kind of the old standard of, oh, well, if you eat tuna salad for 7 days, you're going to lose weight. This is a way to kind of look at what may be going on in the body that we're not looking at, what may be going on in our minds that are keeping us kind of a standing block maybe from doing what we want to with our health. And that's what an integrative approach looks like.
So you're covering everything. So you're almost doing sort of a whole life. So let me sit down. Let's talk about everything that's going on around you, things that might be triggers of what your maybe poor eating habits. And do you dive into
Yeah.
like schedules too? Like, oh, well, you're doing like for myself, it's like I know I'm eating bad when I don't plan to eat something, here at home or on the road. Like I don't take something with me when I know I'm going to be out all day.
Yeah, basically, we just kind of look at lifestyle and history as well. I think that people's the way they were taught about food, what their families' food habits were, it's a big part of how they grow up and how they use food as an adult. So we look at lifestyle, we look at family history, um, relationships, work, balance, spirituality, kind of the whole circle of
Hmm.
everything.
How did you get into that?
Yeah, so I am originally from Alabama, and Alabama is not known for being a healthy state. But so I grew up with, kind of traditional Southern fried, delicious food, but nutrition kind of wasn't the emphasis. And I kind of late teens, kind of was overweight and got really got really sick. And so I had to start looking at some different options if I was going to live a really healthy life. And I just kind of started changing and I became obsessed with it and what changing just my food did for my body and for my life. And eventually just really have had a passion to help other people.
Hmm. And so you are currently, so you launched your health coaching business, but you're also kind of still doing a little bit of hair, you're a hairstylist, and
Yeah.
so you're doing a little bit of both to, as it's growing, as you're growing your business, your side business. How are you working with that, and how's that balancing out?
Well, like I said earlier, it is all about balance, and some days it balances out really well, and some days it doesn't. I'm trying to learn to. Some weeks are all about health coaching. When I have downtime, I need to be doing health coaching, and some weeks are all about hair. I manage a wonderful staff at the salon that I work at, and um, sometimes they the two mesh. Sometimes I'll have a really wonderful client in my chair who needs to know a little bit about health coaching and kind of needs with that advice as well. So they actually blend together, but it makes for a busy life.
Yeah, it does make for a busy life. You do you do evening, consultations and things like that? Is that when you schedule your appointments with your health coaching clients?
I try to work on health coaching on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of my days to really focus on health coaching. And so I will kind of do appointments on those days and consultations, answer emails, write anything that I need to. But those are kind of the days that I set aside specifically for health coaching.
Yeah, I like segmenting and putting things in categories. Like Tuesday is this day, Friday is this day. I love doing that kind of stuff. It really does help me stay organized. I do that
Yeah,
myself. Yeah.
I believe in a schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I like when you say I think it was either on your website or on your Facebook group or Facebook page, how you were talking about redoing someone's pantry, like kind of the what not to wear for your pantry, which is like, oh my gosh, that's so good. That's like what I need. Like I need somebody to say, don't put that in your pantry. Toss, toss. Do you do
I
that a
think, yeah,
lot? What?
yeah, I do it. That's kind of a passion of mine. I love organization. I think that none of us, no one in this world is going to get help if something that doesn't feed us well is at within arm's reach.
Right.
And I just think that that's how we are as humans. If that chocolate cake that makes us feel terrible is right there, I think one of the stumbling blocks for people with their health is is, just even down to spices, not knowing what's in their spices or how they affect them. And I like to go in and just kind of educate people about that and help them reorganize in a way that makes cooking fun and simple and easy for them.
Yeah. Well, tell me a day in the life of Mallory. Do you, we've already talked about what you do on Tuesdays and I think you said Fridays. What are some other, what does it look like when, food wise and what you do with your business on those Tuesdays and Fridays?
Yeah, so my pretty much my weekend begins on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's meal prep day. And so I try and get my meals prepped on Sundays for the week. That way I can just pull them out, heat them up, and go from there. On Tuesdays, generally, I make any kind of coffee dates that I want to have with my friends, or I make appointments with clients, but kind of up in the morning, make a smoothie, try and move my body somehow, whether it's yoga, a walk outside. I just find that that really gets me going for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I have a planner that I love, and I sit down with it and I kind of map out what I want my goals to be for that week. And, if I have some emails, sit down and really answer those. And, yeah, and then the next thing I know, it's time to quit. It's 5 o'clock.
Is
So
it a certain, do you use a certain planner?
yes, I do. Plum Paper Planner. I think they are amazing. They have a meal planning. Basically, with Plum Paper, you can build what kind of planner that you need. So,
Oh.
if you have children, you can put tabs in there with your children's names. So you can separate, Johnny goes to soccer on this day, Susie goes to ballet, and you can write in there. But you can also have meal prepping pages. And if you do a blog, there's a blog inspiration add-in that you can do and plan out your blog posts through that. So I just think it's a wonderful resource.
Mm-hmm. And do you plan like when you do your planning, do you do it like time section at a time, like this from 8 to 9, I'm going to do this, or do you just sort of say, I'm going to do these things on this day? I'm just curious.
Yeah, for sure. Because of being a hairstylist, I really like blocks of time.
Me too.
So
Yeah.
I try to say like, from 8 to 10, I'm going to do this. From, 11 to 12, I'm going to do this. And I am not really a sit still person. So, you know, office work for me is really something kind of I have to force.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to do no more than 3 hours just being with my planner and with my computer. Otherwise, I'm just like, ooh, I don't like this.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you too. I get so distracted and just, or just so like it's just like, pulling teeth trying to get everything done. Sometimes I have to do it. Like last week I sat down and actually, went through all or a whole lot of emails. Just, clicking and deleting and getting rid of stuff that I didn't need. And that took a while, but it was so freeing. It was almost like, cleaning out your closet too. So, so there are times
Yeah,
I
it
need to
is.
sit down and do all that
Yeah,
for
I feel the
sure.
same way. If my emails get over a certain number, I feel a little overwhelmed. So I think that that's good to do.
Yeah. What's the one thing that you have discovered food wise that has been like something that you've kept in your meal plans and that isn't like you're like, this is not boring to me. This is so good and kind of a new thing. Has there been something like
Yeah.
that?
Um, I, like the rest of the world, I, I am kind of into anti-inflammatory. So I've really anti-inflammatory foods, an anti-inflammatory diet. So have just been really big for me. Pretty much cauliflower is a huge staple in my diet. So I make cauliflower steaks, I make cauliflower mash, um, cauliflower kind of a taco meat that I'll make with that. So cauliflower is something that I never get tired of.
Huh. Is that so? Cauliflower is anti-inflammatory.
Well, cauliflower is not an inflammatory food. So yeah, it's not. It doesn't have not like specific anti-inflammatory properties, but it's not something that is going to inflame you, which is a
Okay.
long description of a cauliflower.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so what are some anti-inflammatory things or food items that
Yeah.
we can eat?
So turmeric is amazing. Basically, turmeric can help a number of things. It can aid in digestion, relaxation, um, and ashwagandha is a new root that I've been getting into that's really great for relaxation and muscle relaxation. But those two things are really big for me to make sure that I don't, if I over exercise, that I am making sure to not keep my body in that state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is there anything else other than cauliflower that you're loving these days?
I love avocados.
Oh,
I
yeah,
could
me
eat
too.
pretty much avocados.
Yeah. I don't know if I could eat them every day, but probably if they were fresh and ripe, just the right ripeness, I would eat them probably 3 times a week, if not maybe a little bit more. But they are really good. Do you do those things where you make something else? Like I've seen like avocado chocolate pudding and like
Yeah,
it's so
I
creamy.
yeah, I do a lot of I actually put an avocado in my smoothie in the morning. And I mix it with cacao powder.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a chocolate milkshake kind of feel. And I've done a lot of like I do a chocolate cayenne mousse and the cream
Mm.
is from avocado.
Yum. That sounds good. I know it sounds weird to probably to most people because we're always, it was introduced in America as like a dip. I mean, guacamole with Mexican
Yeah.
food, but it's so versatile. I know I used to that was one of the foods that I fed my babies because it was soft, you could mash it up, it was kind of had that consistency of baby food and they loved it.
Yeah, it's a really good versatile food.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
that you
it
can use with
is.
everything.
It is. It is. So, what kind of challenges have you had with starting your health coaching business?
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of the challenges that I've run into are a lot of people are kind of skeptical of health coaching. What is that? What does it
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I think that it's hard sometimes to explain that and pare that down. And I think that's one of the big challenges that I've faced is just kind of paring down exactly what I do and what my specialty is and what my passion is. And I think that people are still really skeptical of anything that is not um, in the medical industry when it comes to health. I think that people are moving more towards holistic health, but it's a slow process.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been one of my big challenges.
So you're finding that they're not understanding maybe how it works and just, it's so easy to just say, "Hey, come and work out at a, workout facility," but to sit with someone, like I know they think, "Oh, well, I'm going to sit with a nutritionist." They kind of have that around their head, but I guess it would be kind of hard to figure out what a holistic, health coach, integrative health coach does. But so it's an array of services because you, like you said, you do the pantry. You could do that pantry. What are some other things that you could do for them?
Yeah, so generally I do a 6 month program. And what I do is basically we sit down for 15 minutes twice a month and we talk about the challenges that people are having when it comes to their health. And it is like a therapy session. I mean, we take it back to your childhood. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and and so that goes on for 6 months. And I think that for some, that's not a quick fix. And so that's my biggest program. I do that and pantry clean outs. And those are kind of my offerings right now. And yeah, I'm excited about them, but I think it's very different from the traditional um, weight loss programs.
Yeah. And do you do sort of a game plan? Like this is where, you know, Like, do you do it together? Do you sit down and go, okay, what do you like to eat? And let's make a game plan on what your lunches are going to be like.
Yeah, we get to that. First, it starts out like I have to know who you are. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have to know um, like I've said, your relationship with food, because everyone's relationship with food is different. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I have to figure that out. And once I figure that out, then we're good to go and start working on things like meal plans
Mm-hmm.
and how that works for them.
Yeah. And so being that this is a business podcast, what has been the best business advice with what you're doing? What has been the best business advice someone's given you?
To take time to work on my business. Businesses just don't flow on their own, and you have to have office days. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that that has been the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you're doing it. You're setting aside that time, which is really good. Yeah. So tell me what's your favorite app? And it doesn't have to be a business app.
I love the app. It's called Breathe, and it's a meditation app. And basically, you just kind of say what kind of meditation that you need, and it finds it for you. And sometimes I just need that to turn my brain off.
Yeah. And so do you just tell it what you want, like what kind of meditation? Like what would I ask for?
Yeah, so like if you're having a day where you're feeling kind of anxious, you've got a lot on your plate, you
Hmm.
can do a kind of a grounding meditation, and you find that within the app, and then you just turn it on, put on your headphones, and just kind of take a minute and breathe through whatever you're going through.
And is it just music or does it tell you like how to breathe? It
Yeah,
kind of gives you directions on how to meditate and how to
yeah. So you can turn on guided meditation, or you can just do music. But usually, if you have a specific need, you would do a guided meditation.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Breathe. I'm
pretty
gonna have to
awesome.
check it out.
Yeah.
So, what three things are you absolutely loving these days?
Mm. So I just got into this thing called Trunk Club where they send you clothes and so you don't have to go shopping. And I'm really
What?
loving that. Yeah, it's like there's also Stitch Fix is another one
Okay.
um
Yeah.
yeah, so where you talk to a stylist, kind of send them your Pinterest boards, and they pick out clothes for you. It's nice for people who don't always have time to go shopping. So I'm loving that. I am loving this time of year. I love sunshine. I'm from very far south, so the winter is not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm loving right now. I'm also just loving watching my business evolve. It's changing. It's not what I thought it was going to be, and I'm really enjoying watching that change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it does, I think everyone's business evolves from the time of, where you're brainstorming and conception, I guess. You have one way or one way of thinking that it's going to look like, and then it totally starts morphing into something totally different, based on what the needs of others and what is out there.
Yeah, it does, and but I think that's very important for growth is
Mm-hmm.
that you are open to whatever something shapes, whatever it morphs into.
Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite restaurant here in Nashville?
Yeah, so I'm vegan. So I love the Wild Cow. It's a vegetarian restaurant here, and I don't have to worry about kind of changing my order, and it's just always the same. I know what I want, and I know how it's going to taste, and it's wonderful.
Oh, is that the one that's in East Nashville?
Yeah, it is. It's on
Okay.
Eastland.
That's right. Yeah. I've I've seen it and I have some friends that go there that love it. I hear it's really good. I have never been. So, what would you recommend I try when I go there?
Yeah, so I love the nachos. They're really good. kind of substitute out a few things to tailor it to the way that I want it. But the nachos are great. Buffalo tempeh is great. Let's see. There's a veggie quinoa bowl that I get a lot, which is the seasonal veggies with a side of quinoa and their garlic aioli.
Oh, that sounds good. I love garlic aioli, good. Period.
Me too.
That's like one of the things. I just discovered a garlic aioli it was like a lemon something garlic aioli. Maybe olive oil.
Sounds good.
Oh, so good. And I put it on everything now. Just like hamburgers and salad and dip it and so good. Well, thanks so much for coming on. This was fun to get to know you more and hear about what you do and how you help others.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make some changes to my diet after talking with Mallory. I'm going to add more anti-inflammatory foods to my diet. Plus, I'm also going to check out the Wild Cow in East Nashville and order those nachos. They sound great. How about you? Want to join me? Let me know if you're ever in Nashville. Send me a tweet, a message, and let me know that you're in town. Would love to connect with you. If you missed something that you wanted to jot down from this episode, no worries, because I have added a whole lot to the iTunes description on the app, just right below the description of the podcast, and it's also on my show notes at CorrineSandiford.com. Please consider supporting Rising Stories podcast by purchasing books and products mentioned on the show with the link provided in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and keep rising in your own story.